I am 68 years old, and I am sitting in a house so full of things I can barely breathe. Right now, right this very moment, my hand is resting on a stack of DVDs. They're shoved into a corner shelf I haven't touched in maybe 6 years. The plastic cases have turned yellow. Some are cracked down the spine. A few of the titles are so faded I couldn't tell you what movie it is, even if you paid me. There's a layer of dust on them so thick it looks like felt, like something you'd find in an attic after someone dies. And maybe that's fitting, because something did die in this house, something important. The morning light is coming through the blinds right now, and I can see every single dust particle floating in the air, just hanging there, frozen, like time stopped in this room a long time ago and forgot to tell me. The only sound is that clock on the wall, tick, 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 counting down something I can't get back. This stack of garbage right here, these DVDs, they're worth more to you as a warning than they ever were to me as entertainment. And I mean that. If you're watching this and you're younger than me, and God, I hope you are, then don't you dare make my mistake. Don't you dare hold on to the things that don't matter until you've got no room left for the things that do. Let me tell you how I got here. Because I didn't wake up one morning buried alive. It happened slowly, quietly, the way most disasters do. When I was in my 40s, I had it figured out, or at least I thought I did. Good job, steady paycheck, strong back. And every single weekend, I was out hunting. Garage sales, estate sales, thrift stores, clearance aisles. You name it, I was there with cash in my pocket and a truck bed ready to be filled. I was a collector. That's what I told myself. A smart man who recognized value where other people saw junk. DVDs were 5 for $1. I'd buy 30 at a time. Electronics on clearance, half off. Throw them in the cart. Furniture sets people were practically giving away. I'd haul them home and stack them in the spare bedroom. Exercise equipment I used once. Collectible magazines I was sure would be worth something in 20 years. Kitchen gadgets still in the box. Clothes 2 sizes too small that I swore I'd fit into again. Decorative nonsense. A second car I drove maybe 4 times a year, just sitting in the driveway, eating insurance money. Hobby supplies for hobbies I never started. Woodworking tools still wrapped in plastic. A guitar with the tag still on the strings. I could smell it, you know. That smell of cardboard and stale closets. That musty, papery smell that hits you when you open a door and a wall of boxes stares back at you. The sound of packing tape stretching across another box I was sealing shut for storage. That ripping, sticky sound. I heard it 100 times, 1,000 times, and every single time I felt like I was building something. Security, wealth, a fortress of smart decisions. My wife, Linda, she'd stand in the doorway and watch me carry in another load. She didn't yell. She wasn't that type. She'd just say, quiet and gentle, "Maybe we should sell some of this, honey. Make some space." and I'd look at her like she was crazy. "You don't throw away investments," I'd tell her. "This stuff has value. You just can't see it yet." She could see it. She could see everything. She saw that the guest room disappeared first, then the basement, then half the garage. She saw it all, and I told her she was wrong. Every single time, I told her she was wrong. I want you to really think about that. A man so blinded by the lie that things equal value, that stuff equals security, that he looked at the one person who loved him most and told her she didn't understand. That was me, proud, stubborn, absolutely certain I was right. Now let me tell you about the day everything broke. The day I retired was supposed to be the best day of my life. 41 years of work behind me. I came home that afternoon expecting to feel free. I walked through my front door and I stopped. I just stood there. I stood in my own hallway and I looked at my house, really looked at it, for the first time in maybe 20 years, and I couldn't move. The hallway had boxes stacked along both walls. I had to turn sideways to get to the kitchen. The living room had 2 couches, neither one you could actually sit on, because they were covered with bins and bags and old electronics. The dining table hadn't seen a plate in 3 years. It was buried under magazines and mail and things I was going to get to eventually. Every closet in the house was beyond full. Some of the doors wouldn't even close anymore. The garage, I couldn't park a bicycle in there, let alone a car. It was floor to ceiling, wall to wall, and the smell, God, the smell. Mildew, old cardboard that had gotten wet from a pipe leak I never fixed because I couldn't reach the pipe. That thick, sour smell of water damage and rot. Things were decomposing in my own home, and I'd been too busy accumulating more to notice. Linda wasn't there. She'd moved to our daughter's guest room about 3 months before I retired. She didn't leave me, not officially. She just said she was tired. She said she needed space to breathe. She said it so calmly, so gently, the way she always did. And I let her go because I told myself she'd come back once I had time to organize everything. Retirement would fix it. I'd have all the time in the world. But then my grandson came, little Marcus, 7 years old, full of energy. He came bounding through that cluttered hallway, and he looked up at me and said, "Grandpa, can we play outside? Can we play in the backyard?" And I froze. The backyard. I hadn't been out there in months. The patio was stacked with boxes I'd moved out of the garage to make room for more boxes. The shed had swallowed every yard tool I owned. The lawn, what was left of it, was patchy and overgrown because I couldn't get to the mower. I looked down at that boy's face, those big brown eyes full of excitement, and I had to say, "Not today, buddy. Grandpa's backyard isn't ready." He didn't cry. He didn't throw a fit. He just looked confused. His little forehead wrinkled up and he said, "Why not?" Why not? 2 words. A 7-year-old asking me the simplest question in the world, and I didn't have an answer. I didn't have a single honest answer that wouldn't make me sound like a fool. The house went quiet after he left, the kind of quiet that doesn't feel peaceful. It feels like an accusation. The only sound was the kitchen faucet dripping, that slow, steady drip hitting the stainless steel basin. Drip, drip, drip. Like the house itself was counting all the moments I wasted. I walked to that corner shelf. I looked at the DVDs, hundreds of them, movies I'd already seen, movies I'd never watch, movies that any kid with a phone could stream for free. I'd spent years buying them, organizing them, protecting them, and they just sat there, yellowed, cracked, worthless, staring back at me like a jury that had already decided the verdict. I chose these. I chose all of this, over space, over freedom, over a backyard where my grandson could play, over a bedroom where my wife could sleep beside me. I chose plastic cases and dusty boxes and the lie that keeping things meant keeping value. That was 2 years ago. I'm 68 now. And let me tell you what my life looks like today. I sit in one chair, one single chair that I cleared a space for in the middle of my living room. Around me, on every side, there are towers, bins and boxes and bags and shelves overflowing with things that mean absolutely nothing. And directly in front of me, right at eye level like the universe has a sick sense of humor, is that stack of DVDs. Still there, still dusty, still mocking me. I tried to sell everything, I really did. I spent weeks posting things online, listing electronics that were 3 generations obsolete, furniture with stains and scratches nobody wanted, exercise equipment that smelled like basement. You know what I got? Pennies. Literal pennies on the dollar. Most of it nobody even responded. The DVDs, I couldn't give those away. I tried. I posted them for free. Free. Come and take them. I'll even help you load them. Nothing. Not one single taker. The world moved on to streaming and left my precious collection worth less than the shelf it sits on. Linda comes by on weekends now. She sits in the kitchen, the one room I managed to mostly clear, and we drink coffee together. She's polite, she's kind, but there's a distance in her eyes that wasn't there before. She looks around at the walls of stuff, and I can tell she's thinking what she's always been thinking, what she tried to tell me for 25 years. And she was right. She was always right. The house echoes now. When you live alone in a cluttered house, you hear everything. Your own breathing, the refrigerator humming, the settling of boxes shifting against each other in the night. And that smell, that constant smell of dust and old plastic and time wasted. It's in everything. It's in my clothes. It's in my skin. I can't escape it. You want to know the coolest part? Retirement was supposed to be freedom. I worked 41 years for this. 41 years of early mornings and late nights, and saying, when I retire, I'll finally live. And what did I build? A prison. My own prison. Box by box. Disc by disc. Excuse by excuse. I bricked myself in and called it smart. Now I'm talking to you. Yes, you. Sitting there watching this right now. I don't care if you're 35. I don't care if you're 45 or 55 or 60. If you still have time, then you still have a chance to not become me. Sell those 10 things. Sell them now. Not tomorrow. Not next weekend. Now. The DVDs. The old electronics collecting dust in your drawers. The furniture you're keeping just in case. The exercise equipment you hang laundry on. The magazines you'll never read again. The kitchen gadgets still in their boxes. The clothes that haven't fit you in 5 years. The decorations you don't even see anymore. The second car draining your wallet. The hobby supplies for the hobby you never started, and we both know you never will. Sell them. Donate them. Throw them on the curb. I don't care if you get $5 for the whole lot. You are not keeping value. You are keeping weight. There is a difference. And by the time you learn it the way I did, it will be too late. Every single object you hold on to that you do not use is stealing square footage from your future. It's stealing space where your grandkid could play. It's stealing a room where someone you love could feel welcome. It's stealing air from your own lungs. I held on to everything, and I lost the only things that mattered. Your retirement deserves empty rooms and full days, not the other way around. Don't be me.